So now we're going to be looking at how to release the girdle vessel. So the girdle is this whole area around the middle of your body, a bit like the belt, the centre of these trousers, but it also comes through, like the trousers, underneath. And today we're going to be focusing more on releasing it. So we're going to start with some movements of the hips and the pelvis. It's kind of a little bit like belly dancing. It supports the whole of the centre and it goes also around the back, and we can release from here. So we start with just any circling movements that you want to do, maybe to arrive, to rock, to begin to become aware. So as we start to move, putting your hands on your hips, and we can start to go more into a figure of 8 kind of movement, circling a figure of 8 on its side, with the centre being through your centre vertical line, maybe through your navel, and you rock your hips and circle. And then you can go the other way, circling, reversing the figure of 8, moving your hips. Hopefully you can see that because I've got my hands on my hips and how I'm coming through into the centre. So you might want to do that slowly or more quickly. And then you might want to feel the front and the back, just placing your hands, and then perhaps as we're more releasing, just more stroking around and feeling how that connects down into your legs and into your upper body. So for releasing the girdle or the pelvis, it is quite linked with our jaw and our shoulders. So before we release our jaw and our shoulders, be aware of how it feels now and how your shoulders and arms feel. Then we're going to do a slightly more vigorous movement where we rock from side to side and let your arms relax as you do this. So you're able to release the neck and the shoulders as well as your pelvis, and feeling a movement down into the lower legs. If at any point any of these feel too strong for you and you feel it's too much releasing, then go back to more static movements. But we rock. You can rock more slowly. You can rock more quickly. You may even, that's what I started feeling I wanted to do, release the jaw. Make sounds, sigh out. And then slowing the movement down, we just come to feeling how it is now. Maybe something has released a little. We're going to do an even more vigorous movement, so again, feel if that's okay for you. I'll slow it down to start with. So basically you're going to lift one leg up across your body, so that really releases all around the glutes, the hips, and then your arms will go the other way and you can look the other way. And it's almost, I feel, like a releasing backwards. Sorry, I'll do it on the other side. So if I stay for too long, I'll unbalance. So that's the basic movement. And when you come down, try to soften this leg down, and we do one side at a time. So basically this is slow, lifting, sinking down. I'm slightly exaggerating the sinking down. So now do it how it feels for you, and you can do it again with perhaps a releasing, letting go. Releasing the jaw, the shoulders. They're not in the girdle, but it regulates the movement between the upper and the lower body. When you've done enough, just come back to centre for a moment and see if you can feel a difference between the left and the right sides of your body. And then we'll do it the other side, slowly. It's quite good for coordination. You may have noticed I wobble. Or more quickly. With a sighing, with your eyes releasing anything you don't want anymore. Let it go. Be carried away by the wind. Whatever no longer serves you. And then gradually coming back to the centre, feeling, maybe just tuning in to what movements that you might want to do, maybe closing your eyes and just do some gentle movements or more vigorous. You may even feel that you want to shake a little bit. So you can shake your pelvis and shake your arms and get more of a just if it feels good for you. Really try and feel the shaking from your hips, from this whole girdle, moving down to the earth. So again, you can release whatever you no longer need down to the earth. To release through your mouth, your throat, your jaw. You may even, so any movements that feel they arise from you. And then, this is quite strong for the pelvic floor. So if you have a weak perineum or any tendency to prolapse, it may be a bit too strong. But if it feels fine, we're coming in this standing squat. Obviously also be aware of your knees. And this is more of an opening of the lower part of the girdle, the perineum, and you can just rock. Perhaps having your hands on your pelvis, feeling just in front of these bones, giving a bit of pressure. There are lots of points here, acupuncture points, points on muscles that may feel good. You might want to release by turning to one side. So hands on knees and just turning through the centre. Even maybe coming up onto your toes and sinking down, coming up onto your toes, sinking down. There's a mudra, a hand gesture where we can bring our thumb, our middle and our index fingers together, or any other gesture you feel in here. And then, if you're still okay with that, you can use your hands for this, just rocking from side to side, because these movements are also releasing the gluteal part of the girdle vessel. And again, more active movements are going to release, but just pay attention to your body. And then we come into more of a squat if that's comfortable. Again, watching knees, ankles, pelvic floor. And again, this is more of a releasing down to the earth. So you might feel, whew, just letting go into the earth. If anything you no longer need, clearing out your pelvis. Clearing out your buttocks, releasing and freeing your lower back. And even here, if it feels comfortable, bouncy type movements, but these are quite strong, so only do them if it feels comfortable. And then to come a slightly more gentle way of doing that is all fours, but bringing one leg up, and then actually I'll bring the other leg up and do it forward. So you can see how it's really releasing all of the inside. And again, releasing down to earth. So this is a more gentle version of the squatting. So you can rock forwards and backwards, but you could also circle. And some of you may be noticing a lot of these are quite similar movements to women during birth, if they're able to tune into what they're feeling in terms of movements for really opening up the pelvis is birth. Many women do in fact give birth in these kind of positions because they are very opening movements. Probably in birth you wouldn't do it quite so quickly or with shaking, but just feel like, I can just release what I no longer need from my pelvis. So do make sure you've done both sides evenly. And then to finish, you could either come into the squatting position. That is quite a strong position. If you feel there's still a bit more that you want to release, bring your hands together, pushing your elbows against the inside of your legs and letting go of anything else. If there is anything else, or maybe just resting in this position. If that feels too strong, you may just want to come to a nice opening position, sitting with your soles of your feet together. And just take a moment to feel how your girdle, your whole pelvic area is feeling now. Maybe it feels more supporting now that you've released what may have been blocking. You might be able to feel more flow and circulation internally. So just take a moment to feel that. So thank you for sharing this practice with me, and hopefully you can keep developing your understanding of your girdle vessel.